Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome back to Minecraft. Right now we're in my humble abode, but I thought we'd actually head on outside and take a walk around because it's a nice day. We've got a nice beautiful view of the ocean, and I'm feeling like going out and getting some fresh air. So, how's about that for a bit of a change of perspective? The house we were just inside is actually, well, it's not much of a house at all for living in. It's kind of miniature dollhouse size. As you might have been able to tell by the title of this video, today we'll be looking at a mod called Little Blocks that allows you to place down blocks that are either, well, depending on how you look at it, 1/512th scale cubically or 1/8 scale linearly. I'm not entirely sure which is the right way to state it. Probably 1/8, but either way, this is a normal block right here. These are each 1/8 of the size of that in one direction. Obviously, you can fit 512 of these miniature blocks inside the space that is one normal-sized block. So, well, it allows you to make little things like doll houses and whatnot, and that's all fine and dandy, but you guys knowing me at this point probably know what I'm interested in, and that is the fact that redstone actually works on this micro scale as well. But before we do that, let's take a step back and actually take a look at how it works. So, workbench here, we've got some dirt, place our dirt in as is, and we get little blocks. So, using these, they're just sort of a flat plane is what it looks like, and you can place it down, and you'll notice that it transitions from one square here to 8x8 miniature squares once you place down this block, and you can place them down next to each other, so on and so forth. And once you do that, you can place down any block in your inventory. You don't need to craft any special miniature blocks. It automatically knows you want to place down a 1/8 scale block. So there we go. I'll actually go in closer with Zombies Fly Mod just so that you can sort of see on a more detailed level. And as I had mentioned, redstone still works. So let's place down a few pieces here, and we can toggle it on and off with a lever. So that's pretty cool. Torches work the same way as well. We can invert the torch. And sort of a nice thing is that while you're building these little microcircuits, you can actually reach across multiple big blocks as you normally would, except that covers like 30 little blocks, so you have a really far reach when you want to work on these things on a small scale. So it's kind of convenient in multiple ways. Now, there are a couple exceptions to blocks that will work on the micro scale, so things like workbenches, furnaces, doors, chests, pistons. Aside from redstone and torches, levers, and buttons, the different blocks that have toggleable states will not work. So I can place down a piston right here, and it will not extend, no matter if I toggle it. So you have to use the redstone on this small scale in order to, let's wire it out to the edge, control something like a piston on a larger scale. So now if I put the piston down right here, you'll see that it extends, and if I flip this lever right here, it'll extend and retract. So you have to work it out that way. So, let's head on over to a few examples I've set up. This is a sequence of repeaters just to give a little bit of delay between the time I hit this button and the time the door opens. Obviously, normally this whole setup would take however many blocks there are repeaters and redstone here, but it's all packed right into one block right now. So, that's fairly simple. Now, this little configuration right here is something that might look mildly confusing had you not heard of the mod beforehand. And the way it works is we simply have a little ticker going on that sets off each piston individually, and you'll notice that it is actually able to set off redstone in 4 directions independently, so you don't have to worry about it's not one single on or off state for the entire block. You can set off each direction independently from the other, which is very handy. This right here is just a miniature AND gate. So we've got 2 levers on these blocks. When you flip them both, it disables both of these torches and allows this one to turn on. and we simply wire up the mini redstone to the door, and it'll open up. Over here, we've got a miniature RS NOR latch. Works just the same as any regular sized RS NOR latch, except it's on one block. So press that button, door will open, and press this button, door will close. We'll try to get in a little bit closer here. Open and closed. Same old, same old. Works just as it always has, except smaller. Now I finally, just for the last little demonstration, decided to put together a combination lock that you may have seen in past videos of mine, except it's much smaller. It's more of a touchpad as opposed to a full-on combination lock that might have previously occupied this entire plane of stone. So just to prove that it is a combination lock, before we actually look at the circuitry, let's hit the buttons out of order, press the enter key, and nothing happens. Let's wait a second, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I know I always set that as my combination. I am totally unsecure, but door opens, and we're granted access. So, circuitry here is identical to ones I've created in the past, except, as I've said many times, it's just a whole bunch smaller, and it's really cool. So it's 3 by 3 or 3 by 2 blocks, as opposed to however much this would actually occupy in regular space. So yeah, that's about it. If you end up ever watching this video, guy who created this mod, it is super awesome. So as always, you'll find more information by following a link in the description if you want to download the mod or do whatever. Other than that, if you've enjoyed it, would be awesome if you wouldn't mind taking half a second to leave a rating. That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.